The most common complaint that I hear from sponsorship seekers is that they don't have enough time to do sponsorship sales properly. If this is something you struggle with, you're gonna love today's video. Hey everyone, Chris Bayless here from the Sponsorship Collective. Before we dive into today's video, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get updates every time we release a new video. I don't have enough time. Enough time for what? To do sponsorship sales properly. That's the reason I sent out a sponsorship package unsolicited to prospects, hoping that they'll read it and send me cash. I hear this reason or excuse or some variation of it every single day. So today we're going to talk about the problem with not having enough time to do sponsorship properly. So first of all, the most common reasons that I hear for not having enough time: no staff, you don't have the support of your boss, you don't have the support of your colleagues, you are being pulled in a million directions, focusing on all kinds of other projects. Well, if you don't have time to sell sponsorship, to make phone calls, to do discovery, to create custom sponsorship packages, to follow up, to build activation strategies, to provide fulfillment reports. If you don't have enough time to do all of that, then you are in fact too busy. Now, what do I mean by that? Most people ask me, how do I do sponsorship properly if I don't have enough time? In other words, what are the things that I can cut from the sponsorship sales process if I don't have enough time? And the answer is very simple, and you're not gonna like it. There is nothing that you can cut from the sponsorship sales process that will not have an impact on your overall revenue. A longtime client and friend of mine, who we'll call Joan, came to me, asked me for help in building their sponsorship sales program. I came in, we did evaluation, we built an inventory, we built a strategy, and we trained their team on how to do sponsorship sales properly. At the end of the process, Joan told me that she was in fact going to take on the entire sponsorship sales program, that she was going to be the one running best practice sponsorship sales. Joan was the CEO, and I didn't think she was the right person to be doing this. So I asked Joan, if you're going to take on sponsorship sales, what are you going to take off of your plate? Joan's response was the same response I hear from everybody. Oh, I'm just gonna work harder. I'm just gonna do more. And once money starts to come in, then I'll hire staff or resources. Well, you can guess what happened. 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, Joan has raised and brought in precisely $0 from their sponsorship efforts. Why? Because Joan doesn't have the time to prospect every day, to make phone calls every day, to use a moves management system to move your prospects, to move her prospects through their pipeline, to follow up appropriately, to negotiate, to use the valuation calculator to determine the value of the things that they're even discussing. In other words, Joan didn't have enough time to do best practice sponsorship and instead decided to remove things from the sponsorship sales process. In other words, Joan had a very good reason, one that we can all relate to, for not having enough time, for not doing the right thing in her sponsorship program. The problem is sponsors don't care. Companies are investing with you in order to get a marketing outcome. They don't care if you have a good reason for missing the things that you promised them, for not following up, for not customizing a package. Telling them that we created a gold, silver, bronze package for you because we just didn't have enough time to find out what you were really interested in is a great way to push your sponsors away. The problem with not having enough time is that it sets you up for failure. So the question is not, what should I remove from the sponsorship sales process in order to accommodate my busy schedule? The question is, what should I take off my plate? What should I remove from my everyday activities to leave enough time to do sponsorship properly. The question I have for people who tell me they don't have enough time to do sponsorship properly is, do you want a quick no or a slow yes? That's it. You can either get to know very fast, and the way that you can get to know quickly from your sponsors is by sending them a stock sponsorship package by email, not having a discovery call with them, not building something custom for them, not pitching in person or by phone if in person's not possible. That will get you to know very, very fast. But if your goal is to bring in more sponsorship dollars, you have to be ready for a slow yes. 90% effort in the sponsorship sales game does not equal 90% outcome. In other words, if you need $1 million and you put in 90% of the effort required to get $1 million, you're not going to get $900,000. You're going to get $0. There are no guarantees in sponsorship, but the closest thing to a guarantee is to implement a sponsorship strategy, to have daily goals of how many prospects you're going to reach out to, how many discovery calls you're going to do in a week, how many proposals you're going to send out, and how many times you're going to follow up with your prospects. If you move through tried and true sponsorship sales tactics and commit your time and effort and energy every single day to the process, you still may not bring in any money, but you're an awful lot closer to achieving your goals than if instead you try to cut corners and just e-blast sponsorship packages. If you're too busy to do sponsorship sales properly, you're too busy. And remember, the sponsorship proposal does not make the sale. You do. Good luck out there.